Sadly, we start today with a tale of stochastic terrorism perpetrated by the twice indicted, twice impeached, failed former president. You know the guy I'm talking about, the guy who's orange. Trump posted Barack Obama's address, or what he believed to be Barack Obama's address, or what was supposedly Barack Obama's address. And even though it wasn't, an armed man showed up, and prosecutors now know all about it. The Associated Press reports Trump posted what he said was Obama's address. An armed man was soon arrested there. And the question I have for you as we read through this is, did Trump know exactly what he was doing? Former President Donald Trump posted on his social media platform what he claimed was the home address of former President Barack Obama. On the same day, a man with guns in his van was arrested near the property. Federal prosecutors said Wednesday, revealing new details about the case. The individual is a 37-year-old Taylor Taranto, who prosecutors say participated in the January 6th riots on January 6, 2021. He kept 2 firearms and hundreds of rounds of ammunition inside a van he drove across country and had been living in, according to the Justice Department motion that seeks to keep him behind bars. On the day of his June 29 arrest, prosecutors said Taranto reposted a Truth Social post from Trump containing what Trump claimed was Barack Obama's home address. In a post on Telegram, Taranto wrote, quote, "We got these losers surrounded. See you in hell, Podestas and Obamas." That's a reference to John Podesta, who chaired Hillary's 2016 campaign. Taranto also told followers on his YouTube live stream he was looking to get a, quote, good angle on a shot. Good angle on a shot. Federal defender representing Taranto did not immediately return a phone message seeking comment, but a motion seeking to have him released pending trial. The lawyer wrote that in a motion, the lawyer wrote Taranto is not a flight risk, and he served in Iraq. Okay. All right. So does Trump know exactly what he's doing when he does this sort of thing? I believe that the term stochastic terrorism applies here. Stochastic terrorism is a technical term that is the epitome of what we are seeing here. When we say stochastic terrorism, what we mean is when public figures or media outlets, sometimes it will be Fox News or others, they can inspire seemingly random acts of violence by spreading hateful or extremist messages to a large enough audience that is likely to be receptive to it. And it is historically outside of any legal liability. So I'll give you an example. In fact, we have real life examples. This guy, Glenn Beck, right-wing nut, I think he has a show now on The Blaze or one of these right-wing online things. He used to be a Fox News host, used to be a CNN host. Okay. For a while, he would rant and rave about an organization called the Tides Foundation. And he would say it's just a horrible organization. I don't even remember at this point, it's been so long, what it was that was so bad about the Tides Foundation. But he would rant and rant and rant. He never directed any particular person to go and do anything to the Tides Foundation. But given that the audience of Glenn Beck was a right-wing, conspiratorially minded audience, receptive to having their attention focused on whatever the scapegoat of the day or of the week was, you could sort of predict in some general sense that Glenn Beck's relentless focus on the Tides Foundation might inspire an act of violence against the Tides Foundation. You couldn't predict that, Joe Schmo III from Florida would be the guy to do the act of violence. But you could say, we know that some percentage of the population is suggestible in this way. And we know that Glenn Beck's audience is big enough where if it's even only 0.1% of his audience that would hear him talk about the Tides Foundation and go and do something, that means there's at least a handful of people who would go and do it. And eventually this story ended less tragically than it could have ended, which was California Highway Patrol. The details elude me, but pulled over a guy with guns in his car going to the Tides Foundation because Glenn Beck had talked about it. That's stochastic terrorism. It's not that Glenn Beck directed in the way that you might say, okay, you're my accomplice for this crime. Go and do this thing. I'm legally liable. Okay, I tell you to do it, give you the means, give you the reasoning or what the inspiration. It's not legal liability. So we use the term stochastic terrorism. That's what we're dealing here with Trump putting out what he claimed was Barack Obama's home address. I used to think that Trump winning the 2016 election was one of the biggest disasters in American history. I don't know that I've given it enough credit. It's probably more like in modern world history, the election of Trump and the cult status of Trump as a leader to at least tens of millions of people, quite frankly, probably one of the worst events, one of the biggest disasters in modern world history. And interestingly enough, Trump wants more people out protesting for him. Fortunately, it doesn't seem that many people are willing, and that's what I want to talk about next. There's something really disturbing we've been seeing in the news lately. The FBI is now gathering huge amounts of data on everything people do on phones and computers. And here is how. Data brokers collect information about what you look at online, where you go, your political views. The FBI then buys that data to keep track of you. It is a legal gray area that the government will happily take advantage of. They don't need a court order. They just do it. But it's not just the government, because criminals can end up accessing that data and use it to target you for phishing or identity theft. Big tech companies, political campaigns can buy the data to try to influence you. But here is the solution. Our sponsor, Incogni, automatically sends data removal requests to the major data brokers who are required by law to remove your information upon request. If any of your information stays online, Incogni will even follow up with them about removing it. And Incogni keeps you updated with details at every step, so you know when everything's been removed. It is a fantastic service that I use, and my audience gets 60% off. Go to incogni.com/Pacman. Use the code Pacman. The link is down below.